Welcome, parents, to another deep dive. Look, we know your time is precious, so we're really cutting straight to the chase today.
Yeah.
You're, navigating this incredible journey, raising young kids, and honestly, there's just a mountain of information out there.
Absolutely. It's overwhelming.
So we've done some of the heavy lifting. We've sifted through, well, a stack of the latest research to bring you the essentials. What you really need to know about your child's healthy development right from day one.
That's right. Think of this as maybe your shortcut to understanding what truly matters in those really early years. Our mission today really is to pull out that core knowledge, the stuff that helps you actively, foster your child's growth across all the big areas. Physical strength, emotional resilience, sharp minds. We're looking at the foundations.
The real foundations. Okay. And to give everyone a clear roadmap, we're diving into 5 key areas. These seem to be the cornerstones, right?
Exactly.
Nutrition, physical activity, sleep, emotional support, and education and stimulation.
That covers the big ones.
So let's get started. Maybe with fuel.
Yeah.
The thing that powers all this growth. Nutrition.
Perfect place to start. Yeah, from the moment your little one arrives, nutrition is just fundamental. It's the building block.
Right.
And it's not just about energy, like you might think. It's really laying the groundwork for, strong bones, developing those crucial muscles, and maybe most importantly, fueling that super rapid, complex development of their brain and nervous system.
Okay, so it's way more than just filling tiny tummies then.
No.
What's the real long-term payoff here for us parents to understand?
Well, the impact, it really extends far beyond those first few years. Think about it. Those early nutritional building blocks, they're directly involved in developing cognitive function.
Cognitive functions.
Like their ability to focus attention, their memory capacity, even their budding problem-solving skills.
Wow.
Plus, and this is huge, establishing healthy eating patterns now plays a significant role in cutting their risk of chronic diseases later. Things like obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, even certain cancers.
That really highlights why getting this right, from the start is so critical. Okay, so practically speaking, what does good nutrition actually look like as our kids grow? Because you hear so many different things.
It's true, there's a lot out there. But a good general guideline that's often shared is aiming for 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables each day, as they get a bit older.
5 or more.
Yeah, they're just packed with essential vitamins, minerals, fiber, all the good stuff. And when you're thinking about meals, the ideal balance usually involves lean protein, whole grains, and a really good variety of colorful fruits and veggies.
Okay. And I think I read something, or maybe I heard it, about the timing of introducing certain foods. What's the latest thinking there for parents?
Yes, that's a really relevant point. Around the 6-month mark, the recommendations now actually encourage introducing nutrient-dense foods. Things like cooked salmon and shrimp.
Salmon and shrimp. It's 6 months.
Yeah. They're excellent sources of important omega-3 fatty acids, and those play a critical role in brain development.
Interesting. I mean, I think a lot of parents, maybe myself included, might hesitate a bit with seafood that early. What's the thinking behind encouraging it?
It's understandable, that hesitation, but the current thinking really emphasizes the benefits of exposing infants to a wide variety of flavors and textures, especially between, say, 4 and 8 months.
Oh.
This early introduction can actually help encourage more diverse eating habits later on. It's really about expanding their palate early, and not just limiting their diet based on what we, as parents, prefer.
That's a helpful way to reframe it, broadening their experiences. Okay, now what about fats and cholesterol? As adults, we hear limit, limit, limit. Is it the same for little kids?
That is such a crucial distinction for parents. Dietary fats and cholesterol should absolutely not be restricted in young children.
Really? Not at all.
Nope. They are essential components for that rapid brain and nervous system development happening during these critical growth phases. Think of them like key building materials for those vital systems.
That's a really important clarification. I think that'll reassure a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about common allergens? Things like eggs, dairy, fish. Should we still be delaying those?
Generally, the advice now is there's usually no need to delay introducing common allergens like eggs, dairy, and fish. Unless, of course, your child's doctor, their healthcare provider, has specifically told you to.
Okay.
In fact, some evidence suggests early exposure might even help reduce the risk of developing allergies later on.
Wow, okay. That's really practical and reassuring advice on navigating early nutrition. Let's shift gears. Our second key area, physical activity. It might seem straightforward, but But there's more to it, isn't there? More than just letting kids run around.
Oh, absolutely. While play is definitely a key part, physical activity in early childhood is fundamental for so much more than just burning energy.
Right.
It's crucial for developing their motor skills, right? Helping them learn to move their bodies with intention, coordination. But what's really fascinating is its significant impact on their cognitive functions too, and even their social skills.
How does something as simple as, say, tummy time for babies actually feed into those bigger developmental milestones?
Well, activities like tummy time help infants build that really foundational strength in their neck, back, and shoulders. And that's essential for hitting other milestones like crawling, eventually walking. And then for toddlers and young kids, active play lets them refine their gross motor skills, running, jumping, climbing, which then, paves the way for more complex movements later.
And the link to cognitive skills is really interesting.
Yeah.
How does moving their bodies actually help their brains develop?
Yeah, research has shown that regular movement actually helps improve what we call spatial and temporal accuracy of their movements.
Spatial and temporal. Okay, like,
Think about it in everyday terms. It's
Yeah.
essential for things like learning to catch a ball or just navigating their environment without bumping into things constantly.
oh, yeah.
And even later for tasks needing good hand-eye coordination. It's really about developing that strong mind-body connection.
That makes total sense.
Okay.
Developing that internal map of their bodies in space and time. And what about the social side of physical activity?
Right. Through active play, especially playing with others, children learn such invaluable social skills. They start to understand the give and take of interaction, right? How to negotiate during play, taking turns in games, even the very beginnings of teamwork. These are fundamental social building blocks being laid down.
So what can we as parents actually do to encourage this? We're not talking about like enrolling infants in marathon training, are we?
Definitely not. For infants and very young children, simple interactive play is really the most effective way.
Okay.
Think about games like peekaboo encourages movement, interaction. Rolling a ball back and forth helps develop coordination.
Right.
Or just providing a safe space for them to explore.
Simple stuff.
Totally. And as they get a bit older, incorporating more structured but still fun activities, like dancing to music, playing simple tag, going on nature walks where they can climb and explore. All that further enhances their physical skills and keeps stimulating their cognitive development too.
Those are some really practical, accessible ideas. Good stuff. Okay, let's move on to a topic that's probably near and dear to every tired parent's heart.
Sleep. Oh, yes.
Sleep. Absolutely non-negotiable for healthy growth and development right from day one.
Right.
It has just a profound impact on a child's physical restoration, their cognitive abilities, and even their emotional regulation.
We all know a well-rested kid is generally a happier kid, but what's actually happening, developmentally when they're getting those crucial hours?
Well, the research here is pretty compelling. Sleep plays a vital role in strengthening a baby's memory and even their developing language skills.
Memory and language. Yeah. Just like for us adults, getting enough rest helps consolidate new information and experiences. It makes those initially fragile memories more stable, more lasting.
I think I remember hearing something specific about naps. How naps impact memory in babies. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. There's fascinating research on this. A study, I think it was Stanford, found that infants between 6 and 12 months old, if they took a decent nap, like 90 minutes to maybe 106 minutes after learning some new actions, they actually showed significantly better recall of those actions the next day compared to babies who didn't get that nap.
Wow.
And it's not just babies. A 2020 study in developmental science showed preschoolers who napped after story time remembered the story details better than the kids who skipped their nap.
So those daytime naps are really like little cognitive reboots for that.
Exactly. A perfect way to put it. And the importance of sleep, it goes beyond just memory. Research has linked insufficient sleep during the toddler and preschool years to a higher chance of difficulties later.
Difficulties like what?
Like problems with emotional regulation, think more tantrums, more irritability. Also challenges in social interactions, and even issues with maintaining attentiveness by the time they hit school age, around 7.
That really underlines the long-term consequences, doesn't it, if we don't prioritize sleep early on?
It really does. And while, one study noted that maybe a lack of sleep in infancy might not directly cause later neurobehavioral issues on its own, the research did highlight something key. Early sleep patterns often tend to predict sleep behaviors later in childhood. So establishing those healthy sleep habits early, it can really set the stage for good sleep throughout their development.
So for us parents, maybe desperately seeking more sleep for our little ones, and let's be honest, ourselves. What are some key strategies? How do we foster good sleep habits?
Well, every child is unique, of course, but establishing a consistent nightly bedtime routine is incredibly important. Super important.
Routine, right.
These routines, they act as powerful signals to a child's brain. Tells them it's time to wind down, prepare for sleep. A predictable schedule, combined with calming pre-sleep rituals, maybe a warm bath, reading a story quietly, some gentle cuddling. That can help infants and toddlers feel secure, relaxed, and ultimately that contributes to better quality sleep and honestly overall well-being for the whole family.
That makes perfect sense, creating that predictable, soothing transition.
Okay.
Let's move to what many might say is the very heart of raising children. Emotional support.
Absolutely. Emotional support really forms the bedrock. It's about creating that nurturing, responsive environment where your child feels completely safe, truly understood, and unconditionally valued.
Okay.
Consistently responding to their needs with warmth, with empathy, with love. That's what builds those strong, secure attachments. And those are fundamental for their emotional well-being.
And this idea of attachment, we hear that word a lot in parenting circles. What does it really mean practically for our relationship with our kids?
Well, attachment theory, basically, it highlights how critical that stable, reliable emotional connection is between a child and their main caregiver, usually the parent.
Right.
This secure attachment, it acts like a kind of emotional home base for the child. When they feel securely attached, they develop this deep sense of trust and safety. And that allows them to then confidently go out and explore the world around them.
So it gives them confidence.
Exactly. And when their emotional needs are consistently met, it actually helps them learn to understand and manage their own emotions effectively, which promotes healthy emotional development over time.
So it's not just about the warm fuzzies then. It's really building that foundational trust and security that lets them thrive.
Precisely. And the research consistently shows that infants and children who get that responsive, attuned caregiving, they're much more likely to develop these secure attachments, which in turn are linked to better long-term emotional and social outcomes as they grow up.
Okay, so what are some concrete everyday ways parents can actively build these strong emotional connections?
Right
from infancy.
Oh, there are so many wonderful ways. From the very beginning, things like skin-to-skin contact, especially with newborns, incredibly powerful. It doesn't just foster that initial deep bond, it also helps regulate the baby's body temperature, their breathing, can reduce crying, improve their overall physiological stability. Just amazing benefits.
Yeah.
And as they grow, being an emotionally attuned parent is key, which means actively trying to recognize and understand your child's feelings. Responding sensitively to their emotional states, whether they're joyful, frustrated, sad.
Validating them.
Exactly. Creating an environment where they feel genuinely heard and their feelings are validated. And of course, those playful, engaging interactions when your baby or child is alert and relaxed. Fantastic opportunities for strengthening that emotional bond through shared joy and connection.
That all sounds so natural, but I know sometimes parents worry. They worry about how their responses might be interpreted or if they're doing it right.
Yeah.
Are there any common misconceptions about emotional support we should maybe address?
Yes, definitely. There are a couple of common concerns. One is that worry that being too responsive, responding to every cry or need will somehow spoil them, make them overly dependent.
Right. I hear that one a lot.
Yeah, but the evidence actually points completely the other way. Responding consistently teaches babies they can rely on their caregivers. It builds a secure foundation of trust and security, not unhealthy dependence.
Okay, that's good to know. What else?
Another common idea is that having multiple caregivers, maybe grandparents, childcare providers, will somehow dilute that primary bond with parents.
Yeah.
And while that primary attachment to parents is crucial, positive interactions with other loving, consistent caregivers can actually enrich a child's emotional development, as long as that core parental attachment stays strong and stable.
That's really helpful clarification. Should ease some common parental anxieties there. Okay, let's move to our final key area. This is all about nurturing young minds. Education and stimulation. And this is way more than just ABCs and 123s at this age, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Education and stimulation in early childhood, it really means fostering a child's holistic growth, not just cognitive skills, but also their social and emotional development too.
Right.
Research consistently highlights how significant providing a stimulating home learning environment is right from the start.
And I know there's a connection here to making sure all kids get opportunities, especially maybe kids from lower income backgrounds.
There is, yes. Studies have shown that a stimulating home learning environment is particularly beneficial for children in low-income families, where there might be, more limited access to formal educational resources or organized activities outside the home.
Okay.
So providing engaging experiences within the home, plus access to things like library visits or community playgroups, can make a real difference in their developmental path.
When we talk about early childhood education and care, or ECC, what does that actually cover for parents who might be looking at different options?
Right. ECEC is really the broad term for all sorts of education and care provided to kids from birth until they start primary school. So life.
It includes a whole range of settings, registered childminders, day nurseries, nursery classes in schools, playgroups, even specialized programs for kids with special educational needs and disabilities.
Got it.
And the research is pretty clear. Access to quality ECEC has a significant positive influence on children's overall development and their future academic success.
So it's not just childcare, it's actively contributing to their learning and growth.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the key things that make an environment truly stimulating for a young child?
Well, a stimulating environment goes way beyond just having lots of educational toys or materials,
Right.
It's fundamentally about offering age-appropriate experiences that really spark their natural curiosity, encourage that desire to explore and learn about the world around them. Now, we know socioeconomic factors can sometimes influence the level of stimulation, maybe more access to books, different toys, more enriching conversations, but it's crucial for all parents to try and create a balance. Activities supporting cognitive, social, emotional, physical, language, and creative development. So what are some simple but effective things parents can do at home without needing fancy equipment?
Engaging in interactive play is just invaluable.
Like reading.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reading aloud, even from a very young age, singing songs and rhymes together, playing simple age-appropriate games.
Yeah.
These activities, they don't just strengthen those crucial emotional bonds we talked about earlier, they also actively enhance cognitive skills, language development, even motor skills. The key is really nurturing their innate curiosity. Give them opportunities for safe exploration and discovery in their environment.
So it's about the interaction.
Exactly. Positive, responsive interactions with you as their caregiver, even establishing simple routines and learning opportunities at home, all of that can significantly shape their developmental path right from day one.
Wow. This has been such a comprehensive and really insightful deep dive into these 5 critical areas.
Yeah.
Just to quickly recap for everyone listening, we've covered nutrition as that foundational fuel. The essential role of physical activity for body and mind. The restorative power of sleep for learning and emotional well-being. The absolute necessity of emotional support and secure attachment.
Yeah.
And the vital importance of early education and stimulation in, igniting their curiosity and fostering growth everywhere.
Yeah.
It's truly remarkable how interconnected these all are.
They really are. It's not about tackling each one in isolation, is it? It's understanding how they all work together, like a dynamic system supporting healthy development.
Yeah.
And we sincerely hope this deep dive has given you, our dedicated parents listening, a solid foundation. Practical insights that empower you to make informed, confident choices for your child right from the very beginning of their amazing journey.
Absolutely. And as you continue on this parenting adventure, maybe just take a moment to reflect on these 5 key areas. Consider which one feels most intuitive for you, the one you naturally prioritize.
And maybe identify one area where making even a small, intentional adjustment could have a surprisingly big impact on their growth and well-being. We'd encourage you to just observe your child with these 5 lenses in mind. See what resonates most for their unique development. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.